Colonial Borders as Self-Timing Bombs, Unpacking the British Legacy in Africa and the Middle East. The legacy of colonialism has left an indelible mark on the world, particularly in regions like Africa and the Middle East. The drawing of borders in these areas during the era of European colonialism, particularly by the British Empire, has been likened to self-timing bombs. These borders were often created with little regard for the ethnic, cultural, and religious complexities of the regions, setting the stage for enduring conflicts and instability. This essay explores how the British planned and established these borders to serve their own interests and the lasting repercussions of these actions. The colonial agenda. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, European powers embarked on a frenzied scramble for territorial dominance in Africa and the Middle East. The British Empire, in particular, had vast colonial interests in these regions, and their primary goal was to maximize their economic and strategic advantages. The creation of borders was a calculated effort to secure these interests. Divide and rule. The British, like other colonial powers, adopted a divide-and-rule strategy to maintain control over their colonies. By creating borders that divided ethnic and religious groups, they sowed seeds of discord and division, making it easier to govern and exploit these regions. Economic interests. Borders were often drawn to ensure control over valuable resources, such as minerals, agriculture, and trade routes. The British aimed to secure access to these resources for their economic benefit, even if it meant disregarding natural geographic or ethnic boundaries. Strategic control. The British also drew borders strategically to maintain control over key regions in the Middle East, which served as vital trade routes and offered geopolitical advantages. This approach often ignored the diverse cultural and religious communities living in these areas. Consequences of colonial borders. The consequences of the British colonial border drawing have been far-reaching and continue to affect these regions today. Ethnic and religious conflicts. The arbitrary division of ethnic and religious groups led to tensions and conflicts that persist to this day. Ethnic rivalries and religious divides have often been exacerbated by colonial borders. Political instability. The legacy of colonial borders is evident in the political instability that plagues many African and Middle Eastern nations. Frequent border disputes, coups, and civil wars are often rooted in these artificially drawn boundaries. Post-colonial challenges. After gaining independence, many nations in Africa and the Middle East struggled to govern diverse populations within these colonial borders. The challenges of nation-building and forging a shared identity have been immense. Economic inequities. The economic exploitation initiated during colonial times has left a lasting impact on these regions. Many countries continue to grapple with economic inequities and a legacy of resource extraction by foreign powers. Conclusion. The British Empire's role in shaping the borders of Africa and the Middle East was driven by its own interests in wealth, power, and control. The consequences of these actions have been devastating, leading to enduring conflicts, political instability, and economic disparities. Understanding this history is crucial for addressing the challenges these regions face today. Efforts to promote peace, stability, and equitable development must take into account the legacy of colonial borders and work towards more inclusive and just solutions. The lessons learned from this historical legacy should serve as a reminder of the lasting impact of colonialism and the urgent need for a more equitable and harmonious future.